Hello, my name is Kai Unity Kai. I'm going to bring you some G-String, which is a mod for Half-Life. It stands for genetic string. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm hoping that my controller will work. If I have to use my mouse and keyboard, I will. And also, I hope that this runs in Windows mode. Oh, it looks like it does support controller. Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to put, hopefully it launches in Windows mode. Sometimes it doesn't. But anyways, this is the full version of G-String. I have only ever played the demo, but the full version is much more refined. It has the final story, everything, so I'm excited to play this. So I'm going to do this for about just under an hour and a half, and hopefully it is pretty good. So the controller that I have plugged in, it says mostly playable with your controller. This game is playable, but it may show incorrect glyphs or require a keyboard at some points. Not a big deal at all. So it does use the controller. That's what I was hoping. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press play. I do have running in extended screens. So when I run games that I don't know what they're going to do, I always kind of worry a little bit because sometimes when it tries to run a game on two different screens and stretch it, and it's not designed to do that, it'll freeze everything. And I can't exit out of anything, and I have to just power down by pressing the power button on the computer. So I hope that doesn't happen. So I put it into windowed mode. I'm hoping I can capture it in windowed mode, but I'm going to go ahead and press play here. Enough talking. Oh, and it does launch in a windowed mode. Perfect. Alrighty, go ahead and get on into it. New game. Controller does not work yet. Maybe I have to set it. I will enable the developer console while I'm here. Enable the joystick. There we go. Still doesn't look like it works. Let's see what happens. If I have to use the mouse and the keyboard, it's not a big deal. It's Half-Life, so... Okay, I'm going to turn the settings up as high as they can go. I'm running an RTX 4060 Ti overclocked. It uses 8 gigs of onboard video RAM. And then it can also use up to 16 gigs of 3200 MHz DDR4 overclocked, because there's 32 gigs in here. So in theory, this card can use up to 24 gigabytes of memory, if need be. Running on an i5, 11600 KF. So I'm going to turn these settings up as high as they'll go. It looks like it already automatically did, except for the water and shadow. Motion blur, we'll turn that on. Turn the field of view up to 120. Oh wait, so shadow detail low is recommended for my system, really? Okay. Well, I still will use 120 field of view here. So this monitor is a 27-inch monitor. It has full high definition, 100 hertz, which means it's 100 FPS, from my understanding. Pretty nice. It's quite immersive. That is for looking at a two-dimensional screen. I would more be interested in something like a augmented reality, where the video game is in your world, in your environment. I think that's quite intriguing, quite interesting. I would like that a lot more than just sitting and looking at a screen, you know. But anyhow, let's see if this controller works, but I'm going to first have to launch it with the mouse and keyboard, it looks like. But I did activate it, the joystick. Okay, and so here it looks like pretty much everything is turned up. God rays, water screen, lens. Oh, this is pretty nice. Much better than the demo. Has like a cyberpunk feel to it as well, especially in the city. Alright, see if this controller works. Hopefully it does. I won't read that because it's going slow enough that it's easy to be read, so. Pretty cool story. Same story from the demo, of course. But this is the way that the designers of the game, the developers, had it. Where is my? There it is. Guess there's no volume during this part. So in orbit above the North American Union. I'm going to take a look at the audio as soon as this cutscene's done. I feel like there should be audio, and I don't hear it. It's not reading on OBS either. Let me go ahead and look right now, because I feel like there's going to be a cutscene coming up. Crap, I can't change the settings now that I've started. Okay, I'm gonna have to quit. Started back up. See, I hear sound there. Yeah, there's sound. Is there just not sound during the first part, maybe? Yeah, sound is up. And it is working. I heard it. So, yeah, I guess I did need to restart. So I guess there's no sound during the first part. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They're in space. There is no sound in space. So I guess it makes sense. The Star Wars and Star Trek movies would lead you to believe that you can hear in space, but you can't. There's no atmosphere. You can't hear. It's silent. So I guess it makes sense. Pretty realistic if you think about it that way. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll kick in if there's the cutscene, but there is sound because as much was shown during the main menu, the boot screens. But again, it's in space, so there's not going to be any sound. In the space scene, anyway. I'm sure there's sound. Just waiting for it to get to a location where it is. I don't even know if this is a level. Maybe it's just a intro. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just an intro. So Why don't I, has this automatically saved? It has. I'm going to delete these. Oh, you have to do it in order. I was hoping they'd all be unlocked. So why isn't sound showing up on, why can't I hear anything? I can when the game starts. But why can't I hear it in the game? Oh, silence audio when game window is in the background. That's setting right there. I think that might be it. Because I think I'm tabbed out of the window. So I can fool around on the other screen. So that might be the issue. So if you are playing this and you wonder, hey, what the heck? Go into the audio settings and silence audio when game window is in the background, uncheck it. Because that might be it. Because I'm out of the game. So I can fool around on the other screen here. So maybe that's it. So let's see what happens now. Also, I have this installed on the NVMe SSD, so all of the games, I'm putting them on there. But the Unity runs real slow on that Platter hard drive, so I'll have to switch it as well. So still no sound. I was hoping I could skip through this here. Okay, I just won't skip it this time. Dang, that's a waste of time. 13 minutes of trying to figure this shit out. I'm just gonna let it play. So to be clear, the sound is on. I just guess there isn't any sound during the first part of this game. I don't know. It's weird. Because I turned off the setting to silence it when it's in the background, so if there is sound, it should be playing. It plays when the game boots up. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. All I can think is that there just isn't any sound on this part. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's going very realistic. But why isn't there sound here? Because they're inside the ship. At least I turned the subtitles on. They want to ram the ITC. the international transport. I don't know. So I'm just going to let it run. So yeah, the city is very cyberpunk-esque. I don't know if that was a dead cow hanging in the background. So there should be sound. Why isn't there? I can hear the sound during the boot menu. I don't know why I can't hear it. Sound is on as well. Yeah, this looks pretty good with the God rays turned on. Okay, can I even use the controller? Yes, I can. I can also use the mouse and the keyboard, but the controller seems to work. I can barely hear the sound. Is that why? Okay, let me... I'm going to save, and then I'm going to try and figure out... I can barely hear the sound in the menu. So what I'll do is I'll save. There we go. And then I'll quit. That way I won't have to repeat it. Repeat the intro. So I can hear the sound during the boot up. I don't know why it turns up. Well, in the main menu I can hear it as well, but it's very, very low. Should I maybe switch it to headphones? Because I'm using headphones. I switched it over to headphones. Remotely controlled firewall active standby. Can't see that number. It's either 22 or 32. Servers under attack. All in-house VR outlets are sealed off. Online access suspended until further notice. It feels really nice to play with the mouse and keyboard. It's very, very smooth. So, I am trying to figure out how come the sound is not working. Turning off that check mark, I guess is probably a good thing for the most part. Except if you were gonna like take a break, you would want to make sure to turn that off, because if you went over to your be right back screen and you had that off and there was music going, it's going to be playing at the same time. But anyways, the speaker configuration, I changed it over to my headphones because that's what I'm using. I had to do that for Discord as well. I had it set to my speakers and I couldn't hear anything. And I had to change over to my headphones. So I did that, and I applied it, and the volume is turned up. Let me turn it up a little bit more. I just can't hear anything, except for when it starts. Yeah, no sound. Ah, that's freaking annoying. I was really looking forward to playing this. Can't play this without sound. But I can hear the sound when it boots, but that's it. What I'll do is I'll look and see if I can find some information about it real quick. Okay, so there is an audio issue. You have booted up G-String and found that the game runs without audio. That is, sadly not an error. Or, wait, this is sadly an error with the game itself, and not something that can be fixed without modifying your files. This bug is the result of the .vpk format, a type of file that's identical to the folders you have on your computer. And there's other posts as well on Steam about no sound. So let me look at one of these posts here. This guy says no sound, and the guy responded, he says, yeah, we hate sound in here. Having the same issue, it seems to be an issue with Windows 11, which is what I'm using. So this guy made a guide to fix it, but it's apparently been an issue for at least 2 years. Not sure what the devs are doing right now. Okay, so it seems to be an issue with Windows 11. And you can fix it, but you have to go in and edit files, which I'm not going to do. That's unfortunate. This person says they've been in contact with the developers, so they are aware of the issue. And I have seen that multiple people have had this issue with this game. So upon launching the game, I get no sound whatsoever. Not in cutscene, menu, or gameplay. That's the same problem I'm having. And so this person says, try to unpack the sound folder from the game's main VPK, which is G-string version 2, directory.vpk to the game folder. So into the root folder of the game. Use GCFscape to unpack the sound files. So, okay, essentially what you have to do is you have to export this sound file folder into the root menu of the game, and then you have to use a program called GCFscape to unzip or unpack the sound files into the root folder. I'm not going to do that. Not right now. So, I guess no G-string it is. And that's a shame, dang it. Looking forward to it. But I'll do it next week. So I guess with the last hour here, I'll just do something else. See what other games may be here. I might resume with maybe HellBlade. I think I'll resume with HellBlade. So I'm having an issue here lately with these transforms. They're all over the place for the windowed mode. So I have to keep on resizing them. It's annoying. Oh, I figured out how to run ray tracing. So I'm using NVIDIA DLSS, but to use ray tracing, you have to be using DirectX 12, and I'm using DirectX 11. The reason I'm using DirectX 11 is because the game seems to run better for me. But to use ray tracing, you have to use DirectX 12. But I find that the DLSS looks perfectly fine. Okay, so I'll do this. So for G-string, I'll try to remember to put a recap of the issue to the description, and maybe show there's only a couple of steps. You just have to take the audio out of the folder, put it in the root folder of the game, and unpack it. Very good frame rate.
Another gate. Another gate. You know what to do. Stay back. You have to open it. It's not safe. Don't listen to them. Listen.
To break the seal, align the ravens with the mark of Valravan.
Where are they? What does it mean? Which ravens? Where are they? Can't you see them? She can't see them. Look around. Look around. Try to find. Line up the ravens. Line up.
So I hope that the audio of the schizophrenia can be heard, the voices, because the game is supposed to make you feel like you have psychosis, maybe even schizophrenia, which is a different diagnosis altogether. But the game developers recommend that you wear headphones. So HellBlade 2 I did get very far into, and the reason I didn't is because I had it on Game Pass and I canceled it. But I quite enjoyed it, and maybe I'll look into playing it again. But I figured good old HellBlade, you know, can't go wrong with it. It's a great game. Story's amazing. It's a very gripping story, something you can relate to. And it has mythology in it, Norse mythology. So that's what I was looking at. Okay. Turned up just a tad. And my microphone, turn that up just a tad. I tend to turn it down as I go on. And the reason I do that is because after I've had a few drinks, I tend to speak louder. And I notice that at that point in time, it like spikes the microphone. So I try to set it just right.
If you hear the
So this was the area that I started.
follow it, and it will lead you to him. But be aware of his illusions.
Okay.
You can't always trust your eyes.
This is the area that I started last.
Listen, focus. Focus. Focus.
The bummer that juiced me. But I'm just not in the mood to unpack all those audio files and do all that on the stream, you know? It's something I'd have to do later.
Is she lost? Wouldn't be the first time. Last winter, before the tragedy, she journeyed into the wilds of her native land, living off berries, roots, and rabbits. It's not uncommon, you see. We call such a person a gelt. Some, like truth, become gelt in search of penance. Others, like Senua, to purge a curse. Those who make it back are forever changed.
She can get up now. What's happening? She can get up now. How can she get up? It must be magic. Dark magic. A trick. Raven. Tricking her. Raven. How can she get up? Bait. It's him. Dark magic draws her closer. Raven's magic. It's not him. He's helping her. It's not him. It's a trick. She's doing it on her own. He's not tricking her. It's magic. It's an illusion.
Yeah, these graphics are amazing.
The worst kind comes without warning. A deep and primal signal from within. A reminder that just because you cannot see the threat,
doesn't mean it isn't there.
Where is my mind? Where is my mind?
I had to get a USB hub, which is beneficial. But the front USB port to the top one is pretty oxidized, so it has issues with holding a connection. So that often results in devices being ejected. But with this USB hub, I just plug it in over there. They're only 3.0 ports though. No 2.0. Some devices like the couple of them here, well, just I think one uses 2.0 only. But anyways, it works nice. Good speeds, very responsive. Alright, I'll get going here. I'm going to do about another half hour or so on this, maybe 35 minutes. And so this one, I guess, will just be HellBlade Part 3? Part 2? Part 3, maybe. For G-string, if I can remember, I'll put information about that, but it's simple to do, but it's not something that I want to do while I'm, you know, streaming. Alrighty.
It doesn't mean that it's not already here.
She can't go in there. Behind that? Valravin, he's there. She can't go. Has to find another route.
Truth says there's always another route.
Find a way, Senua. Go round.
Find your own path.
There's a different way.
Come on, girl.
Behind you! Comes this far, she needs to keep going. End it now. This is nearly the end.
I love her soundbite dialogue there, where she runs up.
You're close.
Ymir was a frost giant, a being of darkness, and all his sons and grandsons were dark after him. Of his daughters and granddaughters, some were monstrous, but others fair. But there was another who came from the ice. Buri. In shape, he was like a man, big and powerful. His son, Bor, took a fair giant to be his wife, and they had 3 sons. Odin was the eldest, and the Northmen hold him to be the foremost of the gods, the All-Father.
Do you know what it's like to leave everything behind? Your home, loved ones, to head deep into the wilds, perhaps never to return. Senua does. Because when darkness speaks, it changes everything. Turning home into a foreign land and loved ones into strangers. Exile makes sense when you realize that you were never really home in the first place.
Man, this looks amazing.
The song. Balraven. Balraven's song. It's over here. It's over here.
Is that? It's over there. No, it's here. There's 2.
Listen, focus. Listen.
It's magic. It's magic. It's an illusion. She's been in the forest like this before.
This reminds her of somewhere. The forest.
Where?
Which forest?
The forest in the wilds.
The wilds.
She left here.
She went to the wilds a long time ago.
Why did she go to the wilds?
She wanted to fight her own darkness. She thought she could beat her own darkness.
Did she beat her darkness?
No. It nearly killed her, but she tried.
Druth. Druth helped her.
If it wasn't for Druth, she'd
She'd
be
be
dead.
dead.
She can't beat her own darkness. She wanted to marry Dillian.
She came to beat her own darkness and marry Dillian. But it didn't work.
She thought her curse would affect him.
She thought her curse would spread to him.
She thought she'd bring the darkness to him too.
She nearly died.
She thought the curse made her tainted.
Druth helped her.
Gonna head over here and unlock this gate. Okay, so what I need to do is get this gate to disappear. I have to unlock the other gate on the other side first. Is that still open? Yeah, it is. No, I don't think I am. Okay, so I should now be able to progress. And can I also unlock this gate? Yes. Or, walkway.
The Northmen say that Odin and his brothers killed Ymir, and that the world of men was formed from his corpse. They made his bones into stone, and his flesh into earth, and his blood into the salt sea. They set his skull to be the bowl of the sky, with his brains for clouds. Odin and his brothers caught the sparks flying from Muspel and made them into stars. And to protect the new world from the giants, they used Ymir's great curving eyebrows as walls.
So, you want to try to get all of these runes. They are, if you get them all, you'll get to 100% completion. And also it's good because it gives you all of the extra story and whatnot of the game, so. I turned the gamma up a little bit, the brightness. It's designed to be played darker, but for the purposes of seeing a little bit better, I just turned it up just a little bit. Yes. I have to close the gate off.
The ravens. They've gone.
They've gone.
No,
Half of them have gone.
they've gone. Some are still there.
But where? Some are still there.
Mel Raven's helping.
No, he's not helping.
It's a trick.
Quiet. I can't think.
Out in the wilds, in the cold winter woods,
Where have they gone?
she no longer felt fit for this world. She almost gave in to the darkness. But she remembered Dillian's words. She remembered her promise. She resolved to fight on and kill that which had become a part of her.
That's the one that I need next. Yes, I am. I need to figure out how to get that bridge. Hey, there we go.
She did it. The ravens. They've all gone. No.
There's still three. There's three.
There's three.
Where have they gone?
Where have they gone?
She did it. What does it mean?
Looking back, I was so naive to think she could banish it on her own. The further she saw into the darkness, the more she struggled to see anything at all. And the gloom, the smallest hints of shape, sound, or thought, grew in strength until they consumed her whole. Before she knew it, the darkness had her in its claws.
She did it. Ravens. Broken. The gate is open. Open. She did it. She did it.
There is no such thing as victory when it comes to the darkness. It's like it doesn't want to kill her. Yet, it will gnaw at her, biding its time.
Move this controller up just a tad. See, it's cutting off the subtitles. Pretty good game, the first one.
Only when she is at her weakest will it strike to kill. Will she find Dillian before her time comes?
Okay, so this is where the boss is, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time. So, I'll have to do that next time. I have about just under 20 minutes left. So, I'll save that boss for next time. But to fill the time, I'll do the HellBlade feature for about 10 minutes, and then I'll wind down with some Spotify copyright-free music for about the last 10. So, feature spoilers. If you haven't played this game,
Stormy
switch
seems a
off.
lost soul.
Who is it?
She's dreamt of this before.
It's coming.
Is it?
They say dreams are visions of our memories, thoughts, and fears, as seen by our inner eye. But what if each one of us is always dreaming, even when awake? and we only see what our inner eye creates for us. Is this what hell is? A world shaped by Senua's nightmares. Maybe that's why people fear seeing the world through her eyes. Because if you believe that Senua's reality is twisted, you must accept that yours might be too.
This is just the commentary. I'll let it roll for a little bit. But I'm gonna try to make sure to get a little bit of information in the description of this video about the issue with the G-string, the Half-Life mod genetic string. I'll try to figure it out next time. Essentially, I've said it a few times now, but looks like it's a problem with Windows 11 specifically. So you have to unpack the audio into the root folder of the game.
Another planet or alternate universe, but a world that is constructed in Senua's mind. But to do so would mean putting psychotic mental illness at the center of the experience, a subject that is still considered taboo, and a challenge that was both terrifying and exciting in equal measure. In HellBlade, the starting point was a newly discovered Celtic goddess called Senua in Ashwell, Hertfordshire. When first discovered, her name was thought to be Senua, a name which I liked and kept. I wondered if Senua might have been a Celtic warrior like Boudica who stood up to the Romans. While the Romans had conquered all of Europe, there was a group of Celts up in the furthest reaches of the Roman Empire that could not be conquered, the Picts. And so the Romans built a wall called Hadrian's Wall.
Sorry
that
if your
spans across
volume
Britain
was
from
set
sea to sea to keep the Pictish
at a certain way.
barbarians at bay.
I turned up the
The Picts
audio
were
of the
known for their
game.
war paint, painted on with woad, and their matted hair clumped with lime. And so Senua would be a barbarian Pict in this image.
What's your name?
Senua,
I haven't seen you before.
I don't live home much.
Oh, Zeno's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait.
Orkney is off the coast of Scotland and was inhabited by the Picts, steeped in history and mystery, and so I made Orkney Senua's home and set the stage for a crisis. In the late 8th century, the first Vikings landed on the Orkney Islands. The population of the Picts crashed thereafter, replaced by the Norsemen of the 9th century. Were they wiped out? We don't know for sure, but it would seem likely given the reputation of the Vikings. The Northmen's brutality is legendary. High-ranking leaders and chieftains of the tribes they conquered were often offered as sacrifice to their gods. The most brutal of these sacrifices was known as the Blood Eagle. I imagine Senua as a young female warrior who returns home from exile to find her partner, Dillion, brutally sacrificed to a Norse god by these hellish warriors from a faraway land. I imagine the horror of this moment and how it would have dragged her deep into mental torment.
No!
I came to learn that the Celts had a sophisticated and nuanced perspective on the nature of mental disorder. One term they used was gelt. A gelt is a man or woman who has been driven mad by a curse, battle trauma, or grief. The gelt would take to a life in the woods in search of penance, punishment, and purgation. And so Senua became a gelt, cursed by darkness, looking for redemption in the wilds. Another word the Celts used in reference to mental disorders was truth, meaning fool, or liar, one who utters the words of God. They tell of the mad sinner who flees battle into exile and takes on a beastly nature, growing feathers on his body. The character called Truth in HellBlade is based on a little-known person called Findan, an 8th century Irish Celt who was captured and enslaved by the Vikings, but eventually escaped to Orkney where he became a monk.
I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Upon meeting Senua, it would be his stories that fuel her quest deep into their world of gods.
The Northmen say the world will come to an end.
The sun will grow black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, flames will play against the sky,
The heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and people everywhere.
Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok, for it is nigh.
So the stage was set for a new adventure, a journey into the Norse underworld called Hell, a vision quest fueled by madness and myth, a fantasy that was created by Senua's own mind, and one that we would experience through her eyes.
This is your mission. This is your quest. There is nothing else left.
To make a game about a warrior with psychotic mental illness as its central theme was fraught with danger. Mental illness such as psychosis is still taboo and rarely acknowledged in a century of cinema, never mind the new medium of games. Where it does feature, it often conflates psychosis and psychopathy associated with a lack of empathy. It is unfortunate that these two words sound so similar that they are used interchangeably in media. I must admit that I didn't have to look very far to discover my own ignorance of the subject. So we reached out to Paul Fletcher, psychiatrist and professor of health neuroscience at University of Cambridge.
Psychosis is a descriptive term, and it refers to having a loss of contact with objective reality. So it's characterized by two main sets of symptoms. One of them is hallucinations, where somebody experiences perceptions when there is no actual objective thing out there to perceive.
You're already dead. Who are you?
And the other is delusions, where somebody comes to very often bizarre, unpleasant, frightening beliefs when there's no good evidence in favor of them.
There's no doubt about it. The source of the darkness is in Helheim. And the goddess Hela holds his soul there.
We reached out to Welcome, a biomedical research charity that spends billions on research and awareness programs aimed at improving health.
Mental health hasn't always been presented in the media in a way that is particularly helpful. It can be challenging to engage people with the subject matter, and there are a lot of preconceived ideas about mental health, and particularly schizophrenia and psychosis. So we hope our support allows the team to continue to collaborate with Paul Fletcher and with those who have experience of psychosis to create a game that provides a fresh perspective on the condition and allows audiences to engage with it in a way that just wouldn't be possible in any other medium.
What started out as a brief consultation convinced me that we were only scratching the surface of an immensely deep and interesting subject that could enrich and change the very nature of the game.
That's cool. Thanks so much for coming in. Pleasure. Thanks. It's really interesting for me. I'd love to be involved. I think it's fascinating. Absolutely.
Our understanding of psychosis is still very much a mystery, and ways of treating it are still primitive compared to physical illness. After all, it is easy to see the pain and suffering caused by physical diseases or physical trauma. It is not so easy to see the mental suffering and trauma of severe mental illness. But what if we could find a way to see it? Games are capable of drawing you in for hours on end, playing the role of a character who is different from you, experiencing their perspective, and actively involving you in a world that functions with a different set of rules.
That voice is not a kind. Use that voice. Calls you to your death. It's an evil voice.
If we were to represent Senua's psychosis, we would have to simulate voice hearing, a common attribute. But how can we simulate something we have no first-hand experience of? Professor Charles Fernyhough, a leading expert in voice hearing from Durham University, offered his help.
Hearing voices is an experience that is usually associated with severe mental illness, and crucially we know that hearing voices is a part of ordinary life for many people who don't meet the criteria for mental illness.
Yeah. Oh, that's not him in real life.
We know voices vary according to where they appear in space. Voices can appear far away in the distance, they can appear right there in your ear, they can seem to be coming from inside your head.
Based on the information Professor Fernyhough provided, I put together a sound brief and invited some actors to the studio. We recorded the actors using a binaural microphone, which records the 3D spatial position of sound, replicating the way sound is heard by human ears. It gives you an incredible sense that the person you are listening to is right there beside you.
Can't see how she's going.
Rachel Waddingham from the Voice Collective came to our studio with 2 young voice hearers to speak to our team. We talked at length about their experiences and they listened to our tests, giving us feedback on how we could improve on it.
Everyone hates her. She's cursed.
It's very hard to represent what this experience is like, partly because it's such a personal, intense, emotional experience. It's testament to how Ninja Theory have been listening to what the researchers are saying, but also, crucially, listening to the experts by experience. What they've come up with is so compelling. It's by far the best representation I've heard of what these experiences are like.
Other common attributes of psychosis are visions and flashbacks. We met with Recovery College East, who work with and care for people recovering from severe mental disorders. A group of service users gave us their first-hand account of what they experienced.
Do a little bit of a winding down here, so stick around if you'd like. I've got about 6 minutes.
You've been talking about patience.
So, quite a bit of research and practice to do with the Unity engine.
I know it's infatuation. You know I feel inside. You know what is real and I rock with your vibe. But I don't think that we should tie. I know, for real. I know the deal. So please set me free. Just let me be. I know, for real. I know the deal. So please set me free. Just let me be. Just let me be. I got a lot to say. I hope you don't feel no way. I hope you don't make the same mistakes when you blow the flame. You're kind of obsessive to me. You're kind of too strong on your feet. I can't say that I guarantee, but I know what you mean to me. I know, for real. I know the deal. So please set me free. Just let me be. I know, for real. I know the deal. So please set me free. Just let me be. Just let me be. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own cold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die, yeah. Did it die. Did it die. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own cold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own cold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? I'm a stone cold.
Just resetting my settings here.
Got my own cold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Won't die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict, I'm a lowlife, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting, don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored, careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own cold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got
Well, thank you for coming by, and I'll see you next week. I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but maybe some more Unity, if I can research some things here. And also thinking about maybe doing some cooking next time, like making a meal. I can set that up properly and have it run okay, but well, thank you for stopping by, and have a good night. See you later.